My name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. Tonight I wanted to talk about the inauguration, and this is the chart for January 20th, 2021 at noon. The chart's interesting. It's a Taurus rising chart, so it's ruled by this Venus. It's, interestingly enough, it has got this issue across the MCIC here, the vertical line, and the United States Mercury is here, and the United States Pluto is up there. And so a lot of what this chart is going to have to deal with is the fact that the people are so terrified and paranoid that we've invented an alternate reality. And that alternate reality can be seen up here at Neptune in the 11th house, well, and it's conjunct Ceres. That's that asteroid up there. Neptune is in the degree of the nodes. That's this T-square here with the nodes. And that shows the delusions, the disillusionment, the losses, and the fear of loss that is so endemic in this country right now. So the chart, it's got this, so we've got this, the sun, of course, at noon is around the midheaven. The sun and Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury are all in Aquarius up there. It's called a stellium. We've got Pallas Athena right there in the middle of that Aquarius stellium. And so we've got 26 Capricorn at the Pluto right on the midheaven, and so Pluto has to do with destruction and reconstruction. So notice that we've got a Uranus, a Mars-Uranus conjunction at 7 degrees Taurus, right there, just inside the 12th house. And it's square to this Sun, Saturn, Jupiter. Now, it squares to, well, Mars and Uranus. It's a very powerful connection. It's persistent, it's impatient, and it's willful. You get the Sun and Saturn and Jupiter squared to that, and you've got spontaneous rebellions. We've got spontaneous outbreaks of madness, craziness. There's a chronic fight against authority, against the status quo. The Jupiter is a fight for independence, and the problem with a Mars square Jupiter, and it's a partile square, is that the actions, negative actions have a negative long-term effect, not just on the wherever the action was happening, but on those who acted. So it behooves our government to act honorably, and to not be secretive and arrogant, which can be a problem with all that Aquarius is arrogant and I know what's best for you kind of stuff. That isn't going to go. Notice the North Node over here is in Gemini. So we've got Ceres, and Ceres conjunct Neptune. Ceres is the great goddess that feeds us, clothes us, takes care of us, and it's conjunct Neptune, and it's square the nodes, and that shows the state of the people in this country that are going hungry, that are going hungry, not being housed, are doing without. So, and that square shows the condition that we're in. That's square to the nodes. Shows the dire condition we're in. But notice we've also got a Mercury in the degree of the nodes. Mercury at 19 Aquarius is in a trine and sextile aspect to the nodes. And so Mercury's our way out. North Node in Gemini, Mercury is the way out. And what it means is that we have to talk about what is of value to us, what's important to us. And it also, when I think about a moon phase 7. A moon phase 7 is exceedingly competent. They're master of Earth. Moon phase 7 is, it's a phase of self-mastery. It's a phase of high technical skills. It's compassionate, and it acts on it. So I'm really fond of a moon phase 7. Their capacity, the tremendous technical capacity, is not something they're hoping for in the future, but is a result of past action, past learning. A couple of moon phase 7s that I admire very much are Nikola Tesla and J. Robert Oppenheimer. Tesla actually wanted to give us free electricity, but unfortunately he met up with somebody who didn't want to provide free electricity, and so we have what we have. But Tesla was, the genius. He was a master of Earth. He was born in an electrical storm. Anyway, I could talk about that guy. Maybe I'll do his chart sometime for you. He's a very interesting man. So notice, this is difficult. The moon is at 29 Aries, and it's going to be another a couple of hours or so before it moves into Taurus. And so the moon is VC. This sucks. And it makes it takes a tremendous amount of power away from the government, from this, what people want to do here. But what is important here is, notice this is a bundle. Everything is held within this trine. It's even actually less than a trine. That's a very rare and powerful what do you call it? It's a pattern. Okay. And it is exceedingly focused. And where the focus is, this is the center of this. And so the focus is right there, right down there, and that is Vesta. Vesta in Virgo. Now, we've got a Neptune series opposite Vesta in Virgo. Now, Vesta in Virgo is Vesta is that which holds us together. Ritual. It's the fire. We've got. If you remember the Hierophant's cross has got 3 horizontal bars and the one going through it, and that's where you grab a hold of it. That's its handle, and that one going through that is fire. You've got earth, water, and air, and fire going through there. So where you get a hold of life, a communal life, is the communal fire, the hearth fire. Those things that connect you are spiritual things. So we've got Vesta, and she's in Virgo. And Virgo, just Virgo Pisces opposition there says people aren't getting to work. People aren't being allowed to work. And the ones that are working are sacrificing themselves. That's the Neptune up there. sacrificing themselves for the long-term good. And it's time that the rest of us joined them in sacrificing for the long-term good. So, okay, the leading, this thing is twisting this way, and the leading planet, what takes the bite out of experience, the leading planet is Venus. Venus is in a trine to the ascendant, and so Venus is very, very important here. And Venus rules our value system and our money, and it's up there close enough to Pluto to feel it. And Venus is very uncomfortable with Pluto. A Pluto-Venus conjunction is often indicative of a rape of some kind. We've got Persephone all over again, raped by Pluto. So so she's in Capricorn, and not very comfortable in Capricorn. And that is ruled by this Saturn. Saturn is in its rulership in Aquarius and Capricorn. So that Venus talks about, well, it talks about a lot of things. It's up there in the 9th house. So it's talking about the way we communicate with each other. It's talking about publications and the press and those big platforms on which we talk to each other. So Facebook is up there. So this chart has to do with communicating. There's not much that can be done if you don't get the people together, because we're going to be disruptive, incredibly disruptive. So what the Biden administration has got to do right off the bat, the imperative, is to convince us that we have these problems that can actually be dealt with, and that we'll be better off for dealing with them, and that the people who don't have security will have secure jobs. Why? There's going to be a lot of jobs cleaning up and repairing our world. Our world is right down here. This is a symbol. It's a circle with a cross in it. It's a symbol of the earth, and it's always opposite the sun. So the earth is right down here, and this is Fortuna. Fortuna is a circle with an X in it. And Fortuna is kind of where you ground yourself. Like the word says, it's fortunate. And the north node of the United States is right between them. It's at 7 degrees. Notice this is 7 square to our nodes, the United States nodes. The south node right there, conjunct to Jupiter. And that's not particularly a bad thing, because it shows that the abilities that we gained in the past are going to carry us successfully into a future, or have the ability to carry us successfully in the future. The problem with Aquarius, and the problem that can be with a 7 when they're out of phase, is that they don't attend to what's practical. Aquarius isn't a very practical sign, and we got a bunch of it there. Here's what's practical, is Virgo. And so this is very, very important to keep this in line, because Aquarius is easily distracted. So they need to focus on the problem, and the main problem is that this country is split in two and needs sewn back together again. I asked for an image for this chart, and that's what I got, was a seamstress sewing us back together again. And that pretty much fits Vesta there. What else did I want to talk to you about? we've got this intercepted Libra, Aries. And so that means that there's a lot that we won't be able to get to. Like, because we've got to come together before we can do anything. So over here in the police, the whole issue about the police and about fairness, and I'm assuming about financial fairness, is going to be kind of held in abeyance. Notice that this 20 degrees, this is a vertex. The vertex has to do with a fateful encounter, something that changes your life, changes your direction, whatever. And so Congress is over here at 14 degrees of in our natal chart. So Congress would be here. It's usually right up here. But so Congress is at 14 Libra. But here's an interesting thing. The composite chart of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has a Saturn at 20 degrees of Libra. And so there will be a lot going on that isn't public, that won't be seen. The big thing that's going to be seen is the craziness that we're exhibiting right now. We've developed a total alternative reality and seem to be living in that. Well, we're living in virtual reality anyway, and I don't think that's helping the situation at all. We need to be out talking to each other. The thing about that nice Pallas Athena up there. Now, Pallas Athena is the warrior goddess. She's a warrior in a feminine way. That means that she's fighting a defensive battle. The thing about Pallas up there in Aquarius and on the midheaven, or in the 10th house anyway, is that she could see possibilities for the future. Moon phase 7 anyway has a powerful perception of reality. Its creative genius is Moon phase 23, and Moon phase 23 sees what's going on. Jane Austen was a Moon phase 23, and so was Oscar Wilde. So, and Moon phase 7 has got that, can have that that straightforward way of talking that makes so much sense. Oscar Wilde's one of my favorites. I never read much of Jane Austen. I never got into... I read more war stories. My South Node is in Aries. Yep. And and I was raised around boys, so I read Zane Grey. Let's see what else I needed to tell you. Oh, well, let's look at the condition of the Earth here. The condition of the Earth is right here at the foundation of our issues right here. The uncertainty of our future because of what's happening. And notice it's in Leo, which is warming. And the condition of the Earth, here's its 6th house. It's Venus and Pluto. And so the beauty of it is, well, that's my issue. The beauty of it's been ruined by big business. But it shows the devastation on, and it's chronic. Notice this is the Aries house. This is its 6th house. So what's on there is Capricorn. And what's on the 7th house cusp is Capricorn. And that shows a chronic sick condition, or a chronic condition that can make you sick. And, okay, it's here's what's in its 8th house is Neptune. If we ignore that chronic condition, it will kill it. The earth will die. So it's not an aspect. Thank you, God. So it's not going to happen day after tomorrow. Thank you. But you can see Pluto has rules death, you know. So we could sicken ourselves, and we are sick. We've got the pandemic going on. And that could have to do with this intercepted Venus, Mars. People not getting to see each other. People locked away from each other. Virtually to save our lives. So it's a real hopeful chart. And I was so encouraged when I saw it. You know, I have a Mercury-Pluto opposition myself. It's actually pretty much right here. My Pluto is at 1 degree of, and my Mercury's up here at 27 degrees. So yeah, I'm concerned. So when I saw that chart, I was very, very gratified. And okay, one other thing I wanted to point out. We've got a Saturn, Jupiter will conjunct on the 21st of December. And that starts a new 20-year cycle. And it definitely changes things. And just having all that Aquarius up there square shows the changes that ought to happen, that should happen. We should become, well, Aquarius rules socialism. Uranus rules socialism. And not Pluto. Uranus rules socialism. As Neptune rules democracy. And the condition of Neptune up there shows you the dire condition our democracy is in. But socialism has not been practiced since the Native Americans were put on the reservation, and they did. So many of them have, at least the ones on the plains, had a very socialistic, because they simply shared what they had, and knew that they were dependent on each other. And they had, you know, there were people who had more than others, but nobody went without. Nobody went without. And that's the kind of socialism that I think that we're going for. You know, kind of like they have in countries in Europe where there's a safety net so that you don't have homeless, you don't have hungry. And the United States, as rich as we are, and we are the most favored nation. Astrologically, we are the most favored nation. Our people are treated poorly. And you think about, and we need to talk to each other, because the people that voted for Donald Trump are those people who know that if things change, they're the ones that are going to pay for it. They're the ones that are going to lose their jobs in the oil industry, and etc. And they need to. We need to be told that we're going to be okay, and we're all going to be put to work. I'm not. I'm 81. Anyway. We need to be reassured that the job that is ahead of us is one that we not only can we do, and we have the chops to do it, but we have the people to do it. And it shouldn't be all big business. It should be people, us, doing what we're so good at, which is innovating, recognizing a problem and figuring out how to deal with it. That's us. And getting paid for it. You know, go from working to extract the oil into cleaning up and replanting. reforesting, Reconstruction. You know, we never had a Reconstruction after the Civil War. We just had a continuing Civil War. It's time for Reconstruction. And it needs to even be bigger than you and I need to kiss and make up. It needs to be that we need to quit dumping crap on our Earth and expecting her to stay healthy. Anyway, I'm sorry I tend to get long-winded. Jupiter is moving across my Mercury, and it just, Jupiter magnifies whatever, you know. And so I tend to ramble on, and I'm sorry about that. And so that's about all I really have to say tonight. I will, I hope soon that I can get into lighter subjects like some major disasters. God, some interesting horoscopes there. And I pray that you're okay, and that you're wearing your mask, and that you're able to love and be loved even at a distance, and that you know that you're blessed. And we are blessed. We live in this very rich country, which has a challenge ahead of us, one that I think could get us really excited and bring us together. Good night.